Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Romero Wolfson, and I'm an intuitive coach, an energy practitioner, and a life strategist. Um, so yeah, call me if you're having a little struggle with life, or don't. I'm struggling too. I mean, we can get through it together. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so today I'm going to pull some cards because I just feel like things have been so insane. I don't know if it's just my life. Like, please, if you're watching, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from and tell me if you feel that the energy is as crazy and intense and chaotic for you as it's been for me. I find that like I'm pretty intuitive and I'm pretty in tune with sort of the energy. I mean, I think we're all in tune with the energy, except some of us um, have the discernment to know that the energy is also chaotic outside of us and not just inside of us, and that it may or may not be influencing that internal peace or that internal barometer where we sort of navigate our days. But it's been really intense. If you guys watch me daily, you know that I was not here yesterday, which may happen sometimes. And I think I'm going to stop saying that I'm showing up every day because I'm just going to show up when I can. And I do show up every day in my life, although it doesn't always happen here because sometimes there's just certain things in life that take precedent. So I don't know what to tell you, but I'm here. My goal is to be here. My goal is to support you, help you, and love you compassionately through whatever it is that you're going through, because we're all going through it, and some people are definitely going through it, maybe more than others. But the point is, even though that my channel and the lens that I speak through. Um, is it the lens that I speak through? Well, I speak through my own personal lens of my experience as a woman, as a mother, as a 50-year-old in perimenopause. It's real, people. It's real. Um, but my focus, I should say, not so much the lens, my focus on this show is really to support you supporting yourself, right? Is to help you practice being gentle and kind and compassionate to yourself. Because when we are kind and compassionate and understanding with ourselves, then that will spill over into how we treat others, how we treat our family, how we treat members of our community. And so my focus really is on the work that we do individually, your personal responsibility to yourself and to your priorities and to the people that are important to you in your circle and people that you love. And not just that, because as I said, as we take care of ourselves from the inside out, beginning with our internal needs and wants, and taking responsibility for what is our obligations and what is our contribution to the world, then as you take that responsibility, anchor yourself into a clear vision of who you are, and then begin to take actions and practice being that person who you connect with and are in alignment with, that is in alignment with your highest self, which is always in alignment with the highest and greatest good of all. As we do that internal work, then it also influences everything that happens outside of us, right? Because internally, if we are shining our light with love and compassion, then outwardly also that is what's happening. We are shining our light with love and compassion, and we are more easily able to navigate relationships with others or challenges that we may face or situations that come up, right? Because we are doing it from a place of compassion and grace. Okay, and that is what I encourage you to do, is always move yourself in the direction of compassion and grace, first to yourself and always extending it outwards to others. And I think if we each do that, Well, then one, kind act, one kind choice, one compassionate action at a time. We're going to get there. Okay. I know it's scary right now. It is really intense. And this is not the channel where I'm going to go into how to navigate specific things happening in your community or your country or even on the globe. There are a lot more people that are way more educated and have a lot more information that will be helpful for you. I will stay in my lane and help you to connect with yourself, because the chaos begins here, right? Where we feel chaos, where we feel tension, where we feel overwhelmed, where we feel stress. This is the ship we need to calm first, right? These are the waters, not so much the ship. Well, the ship too, right? Because this is our vessel, but we need to calm the waters within, and so that our vessel can travel safely and carefully wherever it is that we need to go. And then we can, bring people into our ship and say, hey, it's calm over here. Come on, let's travel together. All right. Hold on. I have a call coming in from my son, and I am just going to let him know that he has to wait a few minutes. Okay. Perfect. So now let us do our little ritual. I haven't started that yet because I wanted to do a little chatting, let you know what today is about. So let's do our little ritual together, okay? Light that candle if you have one. And we are going to do 3 deep breaths together. And with those 3 deep breaths, we are going to imagine as you take that breath, you are going to imagine yourself just pulling in all of the love, light, and life force energy, all the goodness that the universe has to offer. I want you to just bring it into those lungs, bring it into your body. And when you hold for 5 seconds, I want you to imagine that that beautiful life force energy pulsates through your whole body, dissolving and dissipating any stuck or stagnant energy that's in there. Okay. We're going to release all of that. And then with the exhale, we let it go with our breath. All right. And we ask that Mother Nature transmutes that into something productive. Just like when we breathe out CO2 and the trees can use that, same kind of thing. All of that icky, stuck, stagnant energy, we're going to release it and let nature take care of it and transmute it into something useful. Okay, we're going to do that 3 times together. Here we go. Deep breath in and go. And hold. And release. Okay, and we're going to do that again. Another deep breath in, make it count. We really want to increase our capacity to receive breath. So take as deep a breath as possible and hold it. Okay, here we go. And release. And when you are releasing, release that air slowly and take longer for your exhale than you did for your inhale so that you can activate your parasympathetic system, right? That vagus nerve, that lets your body know that you're doing okay and that everything's okay and calm and you're not being chased by a tiger. All right, let's do that one more time. Here we go. And hold and release. Okay, dokie. Fantastic. Okay, so now we are going to just stretch a little bit. Okay, we like to do a little stretching. We've done the breathing and now the stretching. Ah, yes. So I just do like sort of the neck and the arms while we're here together. But I like to remind you that you can do whatever body part needs some stretching. We can do that together. Oh, always the back and neck. My goodness, that is where I hold all my tension. Okay. Okay. Here we go. And shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And this is just for us to connect with the body in the morning. Right now, it's 11 o'clock where I am right now, or 11:10. Hopefully for you, it's a little earlier. If not, that's okay. Whatever time you can connect with your body is a good time, right? It's good if you are able to connect with your body, get in to the feeling of this vessel so that you can build that relationship, right? So now that we are one and we are connected, we can go about our day and certainly start to set the intentions. And that's what we're going to do together. I'm going to call in for the spiritual support team to help me set an intention for the day and help guide me. You're welcome to do the same thing, calling in your own spiritual support team with a prayer, silence, or however you feel comfortable based on your spiritual beliefs. All right, so here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping us set an intention that is in alignment with our highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, through the cards that I pull, and through the words that people say today and always. I appreciate you, I serve you, and I am grateful for any wisdom that you may have for me or the collective on this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Woohoo! All right, let's rock and roll, people. Moving along. All right, so we are going to do oracle cards and tarot cards. I'm just going to call for the whole thing because I like playing with my tarot cards and I like confirmation with my oracle cards. And since that's how I like to do it, that's what we're going to do today. All right. Okay. So let's see. What is it really that we need to know to get through this transformational energy? Because here's the thing. Anytime there is upheaval or chaos or disruption, then it is a sign that you are on the cusp of transformation. Whether it is on a personal level, on a micro level or on a macro level, right? It's happening in your family, in your community, in your country, on a global level, like wherever there is sort of chaos, resistance, frustration, overwhelm, anger, stress, like whenever you feel heightened emotions, right, then usually that's a good indicator that we are in the process of transforming. You're in the process of leveling up. We're in the process of going from one comfortable place, comfortable-ish place where you are currently, right? And we say comfortable-ish because very often you're comfortable, but you're not really fulfilled or satisfied or happy, right? You're just like, okay, I know what's going on. I know what I'm doing. No big surprises. All right, I can do this. And you feel kind of safe. Um, when you start to feel unsafe, right? When things are happening that make you feel anxious or nervous or that are new or different, um, and certainly that's happening to everyone I speak to on an individual level. And I don't have to talk about how that's most definitely happening outside of us, within our communities, within our country, within the nation, within the global community. There is a lot of unrest, uncertainty, and definitely a lot of people who feel unsafe. Okay. And it is our job internally to create safety within us, because when we feel safe, right, when we create safety and we feel safe to take action, then we can take actions that are in alignment with our highest good, right, because we feel safe to do so. So if you don't feel safe to do so, if you are feeling resistant to taking steps, to taking action, to making decisions, then understand that your first step is to create safety, right? So actually, let's ask that question first before anything else. What is it that we need to do to create safety? The card that just popped up, I mean, it says everything. Temperance, right? Temperance. And what is temperance? Temperance is like, look what they're doing here, from cup to cup. Okay. Temperance is changing changing things, transmuting things, right? Temperance is like if you go to your sink, your kitchen sink, okay, one thing is hot and one thing, okay, go with it. One thing is hot and one thing is cold, right? And so temperance, right? And in Portuguese, it's like, literally like a temperatura, right? Temperature, it all comes from the same thing. Temperance is working with both, like a little bit of hot, a little bit of cold, and finding the balance, finding that sweet spot where you can thrive, right? So, how do you feel safe? You have to create safety by doing little things, trying little things, adding a little bit more heat, taking a few more actions. Oh, maybe taking a break, doing things a little bit more slowly, right? Because when you take your time and you are deliberate and mindful of your actions, then you can feel you're self calibrating. You can feel safer as you take that action. When we move quickly, it is very difficult to move quickly when you don't feel safe. Okay. Unless you're like running away from something and then you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. Yeah. And then you like run. Okay. Like I'm thinking as a kid, if you're afraid of the dark, you go into the basement, it's dark, you turn off the light and you're like, oh my God, I got to go. And you run up the stairs as quickly as you can. Okay. That is fast movement. But generally speaking, when we're scared, we move slowly and intentionally, looking out for the things around us that we may need to be able to like pay attention to, right? So, one of the things that you can do to help make yourself feel safer during this time is just down, slow down. Be intentional. And when you are making choices and taking actions, make sure that those choices and those actions, right? Just like the cup here, make sure that the things that you're pouring back and forth into your cups are things you want in your cups, right? These are your cups, right? And there may be things that you don't want in those cups. So don't keep just transferring things that aren't working for you. Keep your cups filled with the things that fulfill you, right? And then try and find a balance. Here are my responsibilities. Here are the things that I love to do. And go back and forth between your responsibilities and the things that you love to do, because then you're building a relationship, right? Building a relationship with your life. You are stepping forward and taking action, taking your life seriously. You are taking your responsibilities seriously. You are in union with both your physical vessel and your spiritual self. That is the key, right? You want your spiritual self, your emotional self to be connected to your physical self, and both of them sort of be communicating seamlessly. So if your body says something, your spiritual self is like, oh, that's what that is, right? And you can navigate those things. Okay. So that is one of the pieces of advice. Good morning, Sean. And I'm so happy that you're here live. How are you? Okay. What else? Right. What else can we talk about with this chaotic energy, right? So temperance is a way that we can feel safe. That's too many cards. Let's do that again. Right? But how else can we navigate this chaotic energy that's happening both within us and outside of us, right? Like, so what are the next best steps that we can take to help us navigate the chaos around us and create safety? And create safety amidst the chaos around us. Okay, so let's see. Okay, how can we create safety amidst the chaos around us? Let's try that again. These cards are a little sticky. Oops, okay. Oh, now they're running. Okay, anything else? Do we have anything else to say? Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Look at what one of the cards came out. Look at this. One of the cards that came out, the Two of Cups. Okay, and you see, this is pouring in to your loved ones, pouring into the things that you love, pouring into your priorities, right? The things that you're passionate about, and having it pour back, right? That is the balance of giving love and receiving love, giving time, receiving time, right? I love this. The Two of Cup is a love card. So maybe one of the messages is you need to lean into the people that you love right now. Lean into the support of your friends, your family, and your community if you have that. And if you don't have that, well, then what are you doing to contribute to the people that you love? Right. So that then they too can have receive your love and then open up to then give you what you need as well. And maybe look, it happens. Sometimes we give, and we don't get directly back from the people we're giving to or the situations we're giving to. But the universe is a beautiful thing, right? And the way it works is that if you don't get it back directly from that person or that situation, then you may get it back, or you will, not that you will get it back in a different way, because the universe is always reciprocal in that way. What you put out is what you get back. But sometimes we think, oh, I put so much time, I put so much love, I put so much energy into this person, into this job, into this project. And when you don't get it back, you think the universe has abandoned you. You're like, what's the use, right? Why do I keep giving and giving and giving? I get nothing back. Well, it's important that you set boundaries for yourself and make sure that you are giving where you are also receiving, right? And that is a boundary you have to set for yourself. And that is you truly joining in relationship with the things that you love, right? Like you're giving to the things you love and you are open to receiving from the things that you love, from the people, from the places, from the situations. Okay, but look at this. This card came up, the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, she is the queen of boundaries, right? And if you are just giving, 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 and not taking care of your needs and not setting boundaries and not making sure that you are maintaining your energy, right? And keeping what you need for yourself and saying yes to the things that you need and saying no to the things that don't serve you, right? That's what the Queen of Swords, she reminds you to set the boundaries. Because if you do not set these boundaries, you're just pouring out and pouring out and pouring out. Now, one of these, I heard this great thing yesterday. And I love it. I'm going to share. I wish I could remember. It was one of the tarot readers I listened to. But like the cups, right? You see, without the cup, the water just spills everywhere. So the cup itself is the boundary, right? So when you are giving to someone, you're pouring into their cup. The boundary is like the relationship, like within the context of our relationship, I'm going to pour into you. But if you're just like, pouring your water out and giving your love to like everything and everyone that walks by, okay, then it's just pouring out there. It's not really being received, right? And you are spending all of that energy and all of that love and light and focus, and it's not going anywhere. So you need the boundary, right? You need to set the boundaries. And look at this. Also, look at the Two of Swords. Once again, these are choices. The Two of Swords is making a choice, right? On what you are going to spend your energy, where you're going to put your energy, your time, your focus, right? And choosing what's best for you, okay? Right? And doing that for the things that you love. Okay, so here we are. The Queen of Swords, she's setting the boundaries for you. And within those boundaries, you can willingly give and receive freely. Okay, because you have cultivated that relationship. All right, moving on to some of the other cards that came up. Look at this. This is the Six of Cups. Okay. Now, the Six of Cups is a little reminder of nostalgia. Okay. It's the Six of Cups is like inner child stuff, right? It's like feeling safe and happy and fulfilled like you did when you were little. I mean, I hope you felt that at some point in your childhood, because I know everybody's life is different and some people did not feel safe and protected when they were little. But for those of you who did feel that way, right? Or even for those who didn't, there are moments where you feel a connection to your childhood, a connection to that vibrancy that you had as a child. Okay. And the Six of Cups is asking you to go in and remember what filled your cup at that time, right? What was part of the excitement and the growth that existed when you were a child. Because when we're kids, our interests are pure. Like, we don't go, oh, I should be a this, and then go study that, right? When you're a kid, you're like, today I'm a princess, tomorrow I'm a fireman, today I'm a, whatever it is that you played as a child, whatever it is that you spent your time and energy on as a child, may be something that you need to reintroduce into your life right now, so that you can connect with that feeling of joy, that feeling of freedom, that feeling of like that wildness of youth, where you didn't worry about what people said or what people did, or didn't worry about anything else but what brought you joy. So I think that's a little bit of what I want you, or what the universe is saying, like, start as you are dealing with this chaos and this transformational energy. It is an opportunity for you to look back at the things that really meant so much to you, for ways that you connected with yourself and with spirit, and bring that into the present, right? Reach out and say, you know what? This cup, right? And this cup and this cup were things that were so important to me. And I really have not been nurturing those blossoms. I've not been nurturing those plants, those parts of me I have not been nurturing. And maybe it's time, right? Within the chaos of transformation, right? Just like if there's a fire in the house, like, what do you bring with you, right? You get your, kids and your dog, right? For me, it's like kids and dog, maybe the computer because it has some pictures, okay? Right? What are the essentials you're bringing with you to the next level? In the midst of this transformation, what are you going to be like? Let's go. You're coming with me. I'm not leaving you behind. Okay. Okay. What's next here? So then we have a few more cards that we will go through that also came up, the Seven of Discs. Now, if you guys remember, the Seven of Discs is a little bit of that taking stock, right? And again, it's that same energy. So you've got the Six of Cups, which is, what am I going to bring from my past? What are things that were important to me, that spoke to me, that were part of my essential essence, right? That I need to have with me, reintroduce into my life, right? And the Seven of Discs is, okay, after all of this time, what do I have? What are things that I need to put my attention and focus on, right? What are the things that I have been growing in my garden that I want to continue to nurture? And what are the things that no longer serve me? What do I need to stop doing in this new evolution? And especially when life is chaotic, right? It is chaotic for a reason, because then it is much easier for you to cut things out that you don't have time for, right? And this is the opportunity. You got to look back and be like, okay, I'm going to take these things, but the rest, I don't have time for that anymore. I don't have time or energy to put into these things that have not been fruitful, that have not given me what I need in my life, that are not supportive in my life at this stage anymore. And it's not to disparage any relationship, any situation, any experience that you may or may not have, right? Everything is just what it is. It's information, it is experience. It is the path that your life has taken, right? So without judgment, without guilt, and without shame, take a look at what you want to keep with you and bring with you to the next level, and what it's time to put down and just stop focusing on. Okay. Now, again, and here's a beautiful thing. The three major arcana cards that came up, I left them for last, right? Because the major arcana is like the bigger themes that you are dealing with in your life. So the bigger themes that you need to take a look at when you are dealing with chaos in the midst of your transformation is, number one, the Hermit. Okay. Now, who's the Hermit? The Hermit, you see, the Hermit has the light inside of him, and the Hermit goes within and understands that he needs to, he, she, they, okay, they need to be super clear on who they are, right? They need to clear the fog, so to speak, right? You see the light, the lantern that Hermit is holding, right? The light within the Hermit goes into that lantern, right? And we need to clean that lantern, right? When you are doing introspection and spending time on your own and really considering what you want from your life, because these chaotic times and the time of transformation is always an indication that you need to like reflect on what you want from your life and reflect on how you want to move forward and what kind of person do you want to be and how do you want to step into this higher, more evolved self, right? This higher, more evolved version of you, maybe a more successful version of you, maybe a healthier version of you. Whatever it is that your goals and your missions are as a person, how can you fulfill that version of you more completely? Well, it takes time and introspection for you to think and figure out what it is that you want to do, how you want to show up, and clean that lantern, clear the lens so that when you are shining your light, that it is not covered in gunk or dirt, right? It is up to you to shine it brightly, but know what you're shining and be clear on how you're shining it. So take some time to have some introspection for yourself and decide how you are going to show up in the world, how you are going to shine your light, even within the chaos. Like what, when you get down to brass tacks, right? What is the most important thing for you? What are the priorities in your life? What are your non-negotiables? How do you want to show up? And how do you want to practice showing up every day, right? And maybe there's aspects of your personality or choices that you've made in the past that haven't served you, right? And maybe now you want to make a commitment to practicing different making a different choice, taking different actions, being more bold or brave, right? You have to practice. You don't just wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to be courageous from now on. Awesome. No, you have to practice being courageous, right? And so the hermit and that introspection prepares you and lets you know what it is that you need to do. Okay. And then how do you bring that out, right? Like, how do you step into that version of yourself? Well, through the Hierophant. Okay, now the Hierophant is structure. The Hierophant sets up the rules that you need to follow in your life. And once again, the Hermit is the one that's going to help you figure out what rules you want to live by, right? You get to decide what is the structure, what are the rules, what kind of person you're going to be, and set up those parameters for yourself. The Hierophant will step in and say, well, if you want to be this kind of person, then these are the actions that you need to take when you are faced with these challenges. Oh, if you want to be this kind of person, then these are the steps that you need to take first. Here is the work you need to do to build the foundation of that person. The Hierophant helps you develop the structure, right? The Hierophant is a reflection of the sign Taurus, right? And Taurus is an earth sign. It's about foundation. It's about taking care of business. Taurus and the Hierophant is also about earthly things. It's about money. It's about your body. It's about beauty, like how things look on the outside. So it's really about the processes that you need to put in place to create, right, that version of yourself that you have been envisioning will come about, right, will show up. And the final card, and then I'll pull an oracle card to get a bit more of a clarification, but I love this, the Empress, right? And who is the Empress? Look, the Empress is this pregnant force, okay? The Empress is Mother Nature, all right? And this is you, whether you are, however you identify, male, female, non-binary, it doesn't matter. This is you in the epitome of creation. This is you sort of like, see, she is pregnant here and she is holding life, and it is new life, right? And that's where we are right now. We are holding our new lives in our bodies, right? And we need to step forward and give birth to it and nurture it and give it nourishment and time and attention and patience, right? Back to that temperance card. You need to be patient to allow that life, that new life to evolve, that new version of yourself to grow. And how do you do this? With practice. Each day, every day, you are practicing stepping into that version of yourself that you truly want to be, right? The things that you want, beautiful. How do you get them? What kinds of actions do you need to take to get there? What choices do you need to make that are different, right? What and back to that reflection of what have you been doing that's working for you, and what have you been doing that is no longer working for you and you need to cut out of your life, okay? You get to make the choice with this Two of Swords to remain the same, okay? To just continue doing things the way you've done them up to now. And there is nothing wrong with that if you choose that, but that is your choice. Or you can choose to move forward and make different choices and take different actions that will help you to evolve to the next level of who you are trying to become. Oh, okay, I really liked that. I'm going to do an oracle card real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up because I got things to do. Things to do, people to see. Well, no, I got to work. So here we go. A little, oh, are these upside down? Kind of. I don't want them upside down. All right. Okay. So what are the oracle cards going to tell us about navigating this chaos of transformation, right? So remember, we asked with the tarot cards, what do we need to do to feel safe amidst this chaos and transformation? Because if we create the feeling of safety, we are able to take action, right? Until you feel safe, you cannot take action. It's very hard to take action when you're scared. So you need to feel safe, or at least make yourself feel safe enough to take action, right? Again, back to that vision of like you go into the basement as a little kid and it's dark and then you run up the stairs, okay? If you are so scared that you can't even get into the basement, that is not getting you anywhere, right? In order for you to face your fear of the darkness, you have to be brave enough to go into the basement and then like run up and be like, okay, I faced it. And then boom, then you run up and you don't have to face it for very long. But that's how you practice facing your fears, right? You practice by saying, okay, I feel safe enough to go down into the basement right now, and then I'm going to run up as fast as I can, right? And that's how you do it. And the next time you go to the basement, you go and you stay a little bit longer. Maybe you stay for a whole minute, and then you run up the stairs, and you get yourself used to being in the dark, used to feeling the fear. But you have to get yourself to a point where you feel safe enough to do that, right? If you're paralyzed in fear, thinking that there's a monster in the basement as a kid, or now, no judgment, then you're not going to be able to get to the basement, right? And what I want for all of you is to get to the basement, right? Just get to the place where you feel safe enough to face your fears, because as you face them, as you face the chaos, as you face the discomfort, whatever it is that you're experiencing in your life, you are practicing, you are evolving, right? And then you are able to move forward confidently. You are building your clarity and your confidence as to what you need to do to keep becoming the person you want to become. All right. So what do the oracle cards have to say about this? Let's see, let's see, let's see. No one wants to jump out. We're not giving anybody advice. Come on now. Let's try it again. All right, maybe I'll just do a couple of mess with the cards a little bit. Let's try that again. And then we're going to wrap it up. Okay. Okay, this one's out. Those are out. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. Breathe. Okay. I think that's a pretty straightforward card. Okay. You need to breathe. Be connected to your body when you are taking actions, when you are making choices, when you are doing anything, and especially when you are dealing with chaos. You need to remember to breathe. Connect with your physical vessel. And as you take deep breaths, as you feel more and more present and connected to your body, you are going to be able to make choices, better choices. You are going to be slowing your body down, right? Back to the temperance, right? You got to slow things down. How do you slow it down? You start taking deeper and deeper breaths. All right. Once again, here we go. The thinker card. Okay. Just like the hermit, right? It's time for you to take some time for introspection and really figure out what it is that you want out of your life and how it is that you want to show up in the world, right? And then start practicing doing that, okay? And the practicing doing that comes from just your day-to-day, okay? Here's another one. Time for an app. This one reminds me a little bit of the hermit as well, right? Sometimes when we are so overwhelmed and overloaded, and then if you get yourself to a place where you really cannot shut off the anxiety, you cannot shut off the overwhelm, it is time for an app. You need to shut down all of those alarm bells, right? To allow your body to rest and relax and feel connected, right? And then once you're able to do that and you can wake up and start fresh, then you are giving yourself a chance to move slowly, to start again, and to be deliberate with your choices and with your actions. All right. And the last two cards to help you with this transformational stuff is number 38, to be fair. Okay. That's actually 8, 3 and 8 is 11. To be fair. All right. And this is, I feel like this reminds me of the lessons that I've talked to you about where it's like feel, heal, and get real, right? Which is you really need to be realistic about your life, about your current capacity, about what things look like right now. And I don't mean be realistic and be like, I can't accomplish this and I suck and I'm not talented. And I don't mean like that. But I do mean taking a look at your circumstances, right? If you are a young parent and you have little kids, you are not going to be able to accomplish exactly the same things as someone whose children don't rely on them exactly in the same way, right? If your kids are older and going to school, you have more time in your day to navigate whatever it is you need to navigate, right? So understand the phase of life you're in, understand what your current capacity is without judgment, without guilt or shame, and then you make your choices accordingly as to what is possible for you based on your current capacity or your current circumstances, right? If you're in a situation where you really don't have a lot of money and you're just making ends meet, but a crap ton of money would solve all your problems. Well, okay, that may be true, but if your focus is solely on, well, I don't have a crap ton of money, then you are unable to move yourself out of this current position and shift and evolve anywhere because your focus is on something that you can't help, right? You can't change at the moment, right? So, based on your capacity at the moment, so it's like, okay, I live a very modest life. I don't have a lot of money coming in. What can I do? What can I embody? What are the choices I can make? What are the actions I can take? Taking into consideration my current situation, my current experience, right? My current status in life, right? That is where you are going to draw your power from, not from where you wish you were, not from where you used to be, right? Like if you're sitting there going, if I could just get my body back to when I was 20, I'd be perfect. No, okay, no, stop, right? What do you have in the present moment? What are you working with? What are you dealing with? What are your tools? Okay. What is your capacity right now? And what can you do? Stop focusing on what you can't do. Stop focusing on what you used to do. Stop focusing on what you hope you can do in the future. Your power is in the present. Okay. And here we go. The last card is a leg up, right? And this is number 34, which is also number 7. A leg up is figure out, like, if you're realistic and you understand where you are and what your capacity is and what you can do, if you need support, if you need to reach out to somebody and say, you know what, I need to change my current situation and I know somebody who can help me, I know somebody who can teach me, I know somebody who can hold my hand as I do this, that is where you lean in. You lean into your support system. And if you don't have a support system, then you lean into finding a support system, bringing people in that can help you, that have the knowledge that you're looking for. Maybe a mentor, maybe a therapist, maybe a counselor, maybe a coach, right? Whoever it is that you need in your life that can help you, right? Because sometimes we get as far as we can on our own, and then it's just really hard for us to go any further because we reach sort of the plateau of information, of inspiration, of action, right? We hit that point where we're like, I don't know what to do next. I've done everything that I can. I've done everything in my power to do this, get this, be this, right? So when you get to that point, then you need to reach outside of yourself, right? And if you are cultivating your relationships and cultivating your community and you are standing up and showing, like shining your light as you are, and then you reach out for support, then we go right back to that two of cups, right? It's a give and take. It's like, here, I'm going to show up and shine my light and do what I'm really good at, and I'm going to help you do what you're good at too. And then hopefully that reciprocates, and then other people be like, oh man, I can help you with that. I'm really good at that. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Because that's how we're going to get there, people. We're going to get there with each other, with help, with support. And this show is all about me first, right? Because it's like you have to take care of yourself, your needs, your responsibilities, your obligations, right? Your actions. It's up to you how you are shining your light in the world. It's up to you to decide what you are contributing and whether or not you are contributing to the chaos or if you're contributing to the transformation, right? What choices are you making? Where are you putting your time and energy? And that time and energy, that present time and energy, should always be focused on your personal evolution, focused on a collective evolution, which is taking actions with compassion, with love, and with patience, right? And with a little practice, we're all going to get there. Okay, I hope that was helpful today. I'm not even going to tell you that I'm going to be back tomorrow, although that is the intention. I guess I will just see you when I see you. And until then, keep shining your light. You're awesome. And I love you. Bye.